Charles, you said on another podcast, studying secret societies is the fastest death sentence. And this is a podcast very much about shit posting with your friends and conspiracies. So I want to know, what did you mean by that?
Well, I've been around the block in many ways, like either you guys are or have been around. I don't know how deep you guys kind of go with that sort of thinking through the veil. I don't really know how you would describe it, how you guys would. But, in these handful of years that I've been enjoying getting an understanding of my own, of I guess of atrocity, you would call it. I can tell you from experience, if you want me to be sort of a time traveler version of yourself that is, just coming to tell you something, it would be like I was telling you last night when we were in bed.
Yeah. Engagement we were having while our wives were watching.
It was crazy.
Put them in the cuck corner.
It's just one of those things. And I said, you know what? I'll tell you, at least if you're anything like me or if you're anything like anybody, there comes a point where you stop. And so that fact alone, the fact that there comes a point where you stop means that I am from the future telling you to stop right now. Let me put it that way. I mean, I don't know if that makes any sense, but it makes sense to me.
The thought loop style, like a Wikipedia page, clicking links, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
OCD.
You keep going. I mean, the accumulation of knowledge when it comes to conspiracy or whatever you want to call it is a fun sort of thing. A fun quest becomes a task. You become sort of an automated taskmaster of yourself in the accumulation of knowledge that cannot be used to any meaningful end. Because everything you come into contact with that you have access to doesn't have any logical conclusion or action plan or anything. It's just nowhere.
Opening the sources one by one in the Wikipedia articles.
Yeah, like what do you do?
Google Cabal, go to the Wikipedia sources, just read them one by one, skim them.
Yeah, you become a sorcerer in a few years, or you're like this. I'm tired of this world. You're pointing a gun up. You shoot God in the sky. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
Become a JRPG protagonist, killing God at the end.
Yeah, you could.
Start a Discord server.
You start talking about, yo, you people gotta wake up. This system shit, man. This freaking people, you wouldn't even like. I mean. I'll just let you know that there is a point where you are sort of full. You're full of information, and you just notice that nothing gets anywhere, and the only thing that matters is your quality of life and your mental and emotional health and all those, the physical health, all those things. Those are the only things that matter, and an accumulation of knowledge, which is in most cases pretty grisly. It's just the way it is. There's a sort of a conspiracies can get pretty grisly sometimes if you kind of get down in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how down in it some people get, but I know how things can get. I've been in the trenches. We all have. You know how it is. You see how twisted the world is and how fast it's going. You kind of understand where a lot of these conspiracies people have been talking about for a long time. It's, I don't know. Can you really call them? I don't know what to call them anymore.
Collaborations.
Happenings.
Yeah, happenings.
Slam dance. Cunt master. I mean, I don't know. I mean, anything at all.
9000.
Cunters. Those are called cunters now. I mean, call it anything you want, but to call it a conspiracy. But I mean, conspiracy doesn't exactly have that stigma like it used to, like the tinfoil hat thing, because we've been doing it for so many years, and it doesn't even matter. But I've come to the conclusion that a lot of those things, knowing about them, and the difference between knowing about them and having an opportunity to sort of have your life or your mind or something like that benefit from the knowledge, they're two different things, because if you accumulate too much without deriving some sort of a benefit from it, you sort of become diseased.
Yeah.
You get a sort of a disease on you. I don't know what you would call it.
There's definitely like limiting limited returns to that, because if
they get diminished.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because if you overdose on that shit, like it's like any drug you do more of it, the highs become less and less. You get like more just down the fucking rabbit hole. And then it starts affecting you negatively, and you start actually affecting your ability to interface with the real world in a way.
But it's right. You have trouble I guess you could have trouble interfacing with sort of normal society if you have sort of this something that feels like hidden or super true knowledge. But I'll tell you, having things on your mind, it does something. Like it makes them stronger.
Would you say you're more black or white pilled at this point from everything you've learned?
Oh, I look at things in a sort of a different way. I look at to where my thoughts are going, or where what I'm thinking about, or what I'm talking about, and I'll tell you, I refuse. I refuse to despair. Rather, I simply refuse. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen at any moment that can blast you into that. But there's no sense in despairing. I'm not here to say there's nothing you can do to change whatever, blah blah blah. But I'm not really too concerned with that. But it's the despair that does it. That is the mistake that you can make, because you can live during any times there are. You can live during these times. You can live to where they got frickin' spaceships flying around in the sky, or teleportation, or alchemy, or the old. I'm talking the old stuff. Yeah, Kryptonite, Jor-El, Marlon Brando. We can live through a time like that too, but you can also live through a time, and even if the slider gets pumped up to how much sort of torment is put on the people, you have no choice but to enjoy it. Let me just put it that way. And it's not a black pill or
buy the ticket, take the ride.
Yeah, you buy the ticket. I mean,
it's kind of your parents grandfathered you into the ticket. It's just kind of like a universal thing. You have like no real choice in it.
Yeah, you got no choice. And I'm really
just have fun.
This stuff's gonna bring you away from quality of life. I'm looking at good on one side, and the other side is bad. And the things you think about, sometimes it slides it down bad without you knowing.
I don't know. You seem to for you personally, as we've talked, you get more black pill out of deeper into this esoteric wisdom and knowing that everything's fake. Where I was saying last night, I think it's almost a white pill if you learn that many events that shan't be named on this show due to YouTube restrictions did not happen, or these atrocities did not happen. And many of these people that were killed either were not killed or didn't exist to begin with. John Benet Ramsey, I'm looking at you. And I think it's white pilling in a way to know that the worst case scenario was these people dying, and the best case scenario is that they faked all of it. And it seems like the best case scenario is a thing where they're just trying to, it's psychological warfare, which is horrible. But I think that's still a better outcome than knowing that innocent people were murdered for no reason.
Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from, but I just figured that grappling with illusion is a losing battle, and if you're trying to find conclusion or something or quality or whatever from something that to begin with is an illusion, you're going to be bamboozled. So it's just. I like to keep it out of my mind just because it's just better that way. But I understand what you're saying, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's
no closure. There's once you go down.
What do you have at the end of the day?
Yeah.
You're like, at one point you're like this. I can't do this anymore.
I get what you're saying though about the return on investment being diminishing, because once you break that, because I just broke this barrier. For me personally, and just realizing how much more stuff is fake than what I really thought.
Yeah. You sent that thread to me, you were having a fit about that. John Benet Ramsey. For me, it's just I didn't know John Benet Ramsey. I don't care.
Yeah, but just the whole story behind it was just so.
Who is this broad?
Who's this dumb bitch? Who's this dumb whore?
It's
whore
crazy.
Of a 6-year-old.
It's too. It's too crazy to even think about too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but for me, this is the most this was another level for me that I haven't reached since high school or college about just learning the facts about the world. And it's I feel at this point, if I kept going further and further, that's where the diminishing returns will happen. Because it's what does it matter at this point if I found out that Abraham Lincoln, his murder was a setup and he never really died from that, and he died from cancer and whatnot, and that was all staged, which it was. Yeah. He was killed by cancer. They faked his death, and he was killed by cancer later on. But what does that matter at this point?
None of it matters.
Have you ever guys met someone with cancer and you're watching their family go through this, and they're all kind of making jokes how they don't really have cancer?
Yeah.
And it's probably a really bizarre situation. You're with the family, they're not mourning, and they're laughing with you as an outsider as if they have this inside joke that they're not really going through cancer. It has to be such a mind-boggling mindfuck when you're wait, should I be empathizing with you right now, or are you somehow trolling me with something that should be an emotionally harrowing circumstance? And it probably makes it really weird when you're how would I even talk to someone that wasn't in the room about this experience when you're with a family that's kind of joking about how they're not even really going through this experience and how they're working with a fake doctor. It's just like such a head scratch. I'm just really glad people never go through that.
I mean, original point was that like things that like happened, like Abraham Lincoln, etc., like whether or not he was killed by the CIA, the FBI, Mossad, whatever. Abraham Lincoln was killed by Mossad. That's my theory. But he was. He was waking people up. You think that was a speech, not a play? He was hit in the head with a machine gun.
He shot himself.
Yeah, he shot himself with a machine gun. But the no, it doesn't matter if this like really happened or I don't know Abraham Lincoln.
You heard it here first. Abraham Lincoln was killed with a Gatling gun by OG Zionists. Yeah.
What's it? That was the whole point of the Civil
Actually,
War.
Abraham Lincoln committed suicide with a heart attack gun. Get it right. He got it from the time traveling.
He had
fucking,
COVID.
You know,
he was
Mossad
patient
agents.
He was patient zero. Well, they didn't time travel.
Yeah, he had patient zero. He got COVID in 1776.
That was the only
time
cure.
Traveled him back here.
That was the only cure for monkeypox back then.
What about Woody Harrelson's dad?
What about what?
Harrelson's dead.
Woody Harrelson's dad?
What about Woody Harrelson's dad?
Oh, his dad.
Woody Harrelson's dad. I don't know who Woody Harrelson is.
What about Woody Harrelson's dad?
I presume it's a guy.
What about Woody Harrelson's dad?
How do you feel about that?
But I never looked into it.
What about Woody Harrelson's dad? Charles Harrelson. Anyone remember Charlie Harrelson?
I don't.
No, I'm uncultured and uneducated.
Oh,
I'm retarded. We're all retarded on
You
this
guys
show.
I'm a genius, but
you guys are a little bit far back when it comes to JFK. Because I remember years.
I stopped caring way before
year,
the JFK. I feel like I got sucked into the Israel rabbit hole.
No, you can't
and I stopped caring.
You have to have it suck you and not the other way around. So you got to know that old Charlie Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's dad, he was one of the first of all, you look him up on Wikipedia and his occupation is hitman. And then you're like, wait, hold on a second here. And you're looking at he's a CIA hitman, and he was arrested with two other guys that were disguised as tramps right after the assassination. And it was just one of those things. And at least he must have taught his son acting or something like that, because his son had turned out to become a star.
What a strange coincidence.
I'm just saying,
what an interesting coincidence going on.
Why is it every national tragedy has all these people who are just like really good at like expressing their emotions? They're just really
why is
no.
that?
There's no anxiety. They're just amazing at expressing their emotions. Like whenever there's a school scuffle, like a major school scuffle or anything. It's just like everyone always says the parents are like, they're like, I've seen it, and the parents look traumatized. It's like, yeah, they look really traumatized, don't they? For like years and years, and like none of them are closed off, are they? All of them really love interviews, and it's like if there's like a shooting or something, it's like I live in a city where there's like a lot of shootings and whatnot. So the only thing that I've actually seen like pandemonium about was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Like my dad flipped a van over or something like that. He did something. He got in a van and went somewhere. I have no idea. He got drunk and was fucking around. That's like my dad. That's like a man who's like a pretty responsible guy going a bit weird. Like the only thing I feel like that really inspires that level of like insanity to happen is shit like a city that is already a bit unhinged and is mad about losing everything ever. To quote Bill Burr, one city having bridge. It's just like I feel like the only thing that like causes that is just like a very grassroots thing, and like things like some school in Texas there was a big fight there, and a lot of kids didn't make it out of the school without being unconscious, and like it's like, first of all, who cares? Like that happens. Second of all, it's like imagine like talking about this as if it's like this is something that's normal for someone to do, like mentally, where it's just like the idea of like going crazy and shooting the president of the United States as he was like conveniently out in the public after saying a bunch of bad stuff about the things he said. Where it's like, oh yeah, we have to stop this collection of people who are really good at governing and are good people. I love them.
Well, the real truth behind JFK is that he actually hired the CIA to kill him because he thought his wife was just that fucking ugly.
Well, no, he was suicidal. He was gay. Did you hear he was trans?
Yeah, they're all gay.
Well, he was oppressed.
You can't be a president and not be fucking gay.
I was talking about this in the
That's the bare minimum. What's like, if you want to get into office, you have to suck cock. It's
well, you don't have to. You don't. To be fair, you don't have to.
It's crazy how people know these things these days. You know, it's a surreal thing.
Yeah, let's tick him off. Okay, JFK. You know, he fooled around with that guy friend he had back in the day. You had James Buchanan, the original gay president. I mean, we obviously know about Obama.
Washington
George,
was gay.
he
He had that wood in his mouth, bro. You think that was teeth they were talking about? That's a different type of wood.
Both George Bushes jacked off into
dicks
coffins.
in his mouth.
Yeah.
Jesus. You know, you got to ask yourself at the end of the day if something is derailing your life or not. And that's the conclusion. I'm just gonna say, just when it comes to conspiracy, because you can laugh about this stuff forever, because it does go on forever. And I'm saying it does go on forever. Oh, David Bowie faking his death. That's the story that I'm thinking. He's like, a piece of me died. Remember when the guy on TV?
Yeah. I just saw
That's the
that
best.
and Michael Jackson.
Now that Dave, now that's quality, because it makes you smile.
Yeah.
It doesn't bring to mind atrocity. It makes you laugh. You see Dave, it brings something good, especially if you see a video of him with Larry King. It's something special. You know this guy's the real deal. You know he's like Holyfield. He comes with the truth. You can smell it. You know, that's good. The guy, David Bowie, when he was getting interviewed after he died, and as some other guy, and saying a little piece of him died when David Bowie died, you see that? It brings a smile to your face. It makes, it gives you a nice feeling. Your life gets better after you know that thing. Other things are, people getting set on fire, raped by dogs, freaking hunted in the woods, all these different things, cloned, all these things. See, those things, they derail your life and they detract from your life. And the funny things are good. I feel like I have to proselytize. Not proselytize, maybe that's not the right word, but I just feel like I have to truly represent checking out, or at least thinking about what it's like to check out of a lot of different things. I don't know. I feel compelled. Anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Buy this MK Ultra Money shirt at grift.shop right fucking now.
That's
we
right.
got the new Y2K logo. We got a full
Wait, stop.
winter
Wait, what
collection
is
coming.
Grift Shop? What is Grift Shop?
What is Grift Shop?
What is this? I keep hearing a lot about it. Girls keep talking about it. I keep going on
Grift
dates.
Shop?
They ask me when I'm
Grift
not
Shop
wearing Grift
is the
Shop.
new ISIS. Grift.shop right now. Buy the new MK Ultra Money shirt. I'm fucking wearing it. It's sick. It's publicly endorsed by Charles.
That's very nice.
Charles has a nice MK Ultra Victim shirt if you want to get the nice classic shirt. So all that like just got cut out, you can go to patreon.com/MKUltraMoney and you get this full episode uncut. You get all of Otto's full racism. You get Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, all of Otto's full racism at patreon.com/MKUltraMoney. I don't know how long this episode will be on Patreon or how long it will be on YouTube, but you get the full thing uncut.
Sex with dogs.
Yeah.
Dussy.
Yeah, I'm going to have sex with dogs to pay my credit card bill if you don't subscribe to patreon.com/MKUltraMoney. Now, Charles, you mentioned before that between MDE and now, if certain events didn't happen, you'd end up dead or in jail. Could you elaborate on that?
Oh,
Meth and hookers.
Sometimes
Being one, using them.
sometimes when I'm feeling, I guess, kind of personal, when I think about the things or think about trajectory or where I was at during certain things, I try to reflect on how sometimes you're feeling dark or whatever the hell kind of word you use for it. But I feel sometimes when I come, I'm not at the end of the road, but I'm saying I've come through a sort of an interesting story. Let me just put it that way. Yeah, and I say to myself, there's a lot of times when I'm feeling fun. I say the sort of the path that I was going on, back in the day. Well, it wasn't really back in the day; it wasn't that long ago. But sort of in the industry, I look back at the idiocy that I've enjoyed in my life. I'm always looking to root out idiocy in my life. It's just it's sort of a quest, that I think of what I have in life right now, and I think of myself and how kind of silly. I don't know what other words for it I can use. I'm not, and I say to myself, that path, man, if I were to continue down the path that I was on before, let me just say path, because people like to use that word. Just like you said, I guess the answer is in the question, and I'm not really sure how else to elaborate on it unless you have specific questions.
I mean, you referenced getting too silly. It just reminds me of a meme that's been popping off right now on Twitter.
Oh, the silly meme?
Yeah, it's a silly meme. So it's a it appears to be a chick, but she's like sitting in a psych ward hospital bed, strapped in one of those fucking like restraint things, and facing away from you. And the text on it says, "I got too silly" or something, or like. So if you take the silly pill too hard, then you can end up fucking institutionalized, or the system comes down on you.
Yo, Otto, posture check.
Posture, like I'm leaning in.
Spine
It's for-
snapping.
It's for the
Vertebrae.
camera. It's for the camera.
You trying to? You training to suck your own cock?
I did that already.
Oh
yeah, a little.
No,
but it's like-
Are you channeling that? The ribs?
All I'm going to say about women posting L's, there is no better platform for promoting women's creative pride. Oh, that's a suck it, whore.
Oh, do it more. Yo. Oh, got on your lap a bit. All right. Damn, good girl. Good girl gone bad. What you just saw right now. Now you see, there's a little bit of a twist that I wasn't expecting, but it's not unwelcome. It's a sweet twist. What do you think about that twist?
Huh?
What do you think about him deep throwing that bottle?
That was definitely not a deep throat. I thought he was gonna go like jackass with it, try to like break the bottle. It was very mild. Not impressed.
I will never identify with the masses. I'm pretty sure. Rams. I don't think you know Rams.
I know Ram Ranch.
Rams Ranch.
Listen to me. I know Ram Ranch.
But it's he was. I was talking to him and I was like
No
drunk.
Ram Ranch.
And I said, yeah, it really rocks. I'll tell you that much. I've been there a few times. Okay. Beautiful place, man. The scenery, the flora, the fauna.
I just can't get it out of my mind.
Cowboy cock on the brain. The cussy? The cussy?
Yeah, I knew you were gonna know a lot about it.
What? A lot about cowboy cock? How much it really rocks at Ram Ranch? 18 naked cowboys in the showers, prepared at Ram Ranch.
You tell me they were fluffed.
They're certified.
You were there.
They're certified. FDA certified.
Certified three-legged
It
horses.
needs to be fluffed.
Three-legged horses? Call them three-legged horses. I call the horses three-legged horses. I'll tell you that much. Have some experience with the hussy.
At least you're something with something sort of more noble than a dog, I guess.
Well, the most noble horse there, she charges $600 an hour. She's like plated in like chainmail armor. This beautiful stallion.
Man, that sounds really good.
Like out of
Skyrim mount.
Well, yeah, it's great. And so the horse actually comes with VR too. Speaking of Skyrim, so you could use the horse VR.
Okay. Does that thing have its ribs removed so that thing can suck its own cock?
Of course, always.
I mean, have you ever seen a horse do that in Skyrim, chainmail armor?
Charles, do you feel blackpilled on like just like media in general these days? Because I feel like you don't like anytime like I talk to you on Twitter, like you don't like a lot of like new stuff, and I feel like that's a consensus of a lot of people. But I think there's a lot of good out there that just like people don't realize because the mainstream's so big.
Yeah, there's a lot of good out there, and I'll tell you, I wouldn't call it blackpilled the way.
For lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, sure, no, I understand what you mean. Yeah, the way that I feel about it is that I'm just done watching new things. I guess it's sort of a shtick. I'm just sort of done, and I rely on the quality of sort of the recent present and the past, and I sort of take it from there. And there's only so many hours in the goddamn day. We all know that. So the new stuff that keeps on being made. There's so much of the old stuff that I am familiar with that's already been made. I simply just do not have time for the new things. The things that you guys are talking about. I say, oh my God, I wish I could fit a new show. I'm already filled up with freaking Lark Rising to Candleford.
I mean, I think I can see it through your posting style because you've been I don't know if the viewers are familiar with it, but like you've been doing this posting style lately. Like I can't even put it into words, but I get it.
What do you mean?
What
do you mean? What posting do you mean?
No, there's a spirit about it. Like I said recently, like I no longer communicate with the universe using like words. It's like so, if you know what I mean, you do. If you don't, then like, bruh, go back to 2020. But
okay.
It's like the whole thing where it's like there's an energy about it, which is just it's aware and also as disconnected as possible. It's standing as far away as possible. It's like watching a live leak video, where it's like yeah, it's a lot like that. I think that's the best way to put it.
Thanks. I like that.
I mean, just shit like Rome never existed, or just like it's schizo posting, but it's on a different plane.
It's the next disease that comes out.
No, and
I know what you
like
mean.
the thing is, you asked me to put it into words. You can't put it into words. That's the point. The words, you either get the vibe or you don't. And like, and all you can say is like, we see you, we hear you. And if you're with it, you're with it. You know, like.
That's good. It's good to know
like,
that people enjoy it. It seems like not many do, but you know what? I put a smile on my face and I say, who else is going to do it if I don't? To have a certain tone. I mean, who else is going to sort of enjoy the I don't know, the tone of these days? You know, because it's very easy to get dark. It's very easy to disconnect. In a bad way, I guess there are some traps in there.
A loopy way, like kind of the same point where like the whole point of like getting stuck inside your, like letting your head control you, like losing yourself.
I mean, it disconnected from society in a way where you have no ability to, if you wanted to either have a family or children, to disconnect in a way that would make it harder for you to do that if you wanted to do that. Like there are certain ways that your life can be sabotaged that you don't know, that drives you away from the ability to have that sort of thing. Again, if that's what you felt like having, it becomes harder and harder. I don't know. I just thought I'd say that. I have some experience, a little bit of an idiot's experience, and I just think I think of media and these things in a way that I don't know. Maybe some people don't. I think of it. Does it inhibit you from living the life that you want? Yeah, if you understand how crazy the world really is, then you do. If you don't, then hey, you know, you'll find certain styles or certain tones funny.
Do you try when you post, or is it just because for me it's a stream of consciousness?
Oh no, I end up sucking my own cock to fluff myself up, to get it rolling, to get the style, like to get my spine opened up.
Dude, come on, you have a girlfriend.
I look on the side of me. Jim Carrey's on the side of me. He's jerking off. He's coaching me this tantric sex.
Really?
Yeah, Jim Carrey. He's jerking off. I'm looking into his eyes. We're both jerking off at the same time. To be honest with you.
Drop down to your knees.
No. I'm sitting down. He's sitting down comfortably too. You know, we're both.
It's like us.
You're sitting in Eames,
jerking each other
two
off.
Eames office chairs.
Yeah. We're at the same point. I'm saying he's teaching me.
You're climaxing together.
Well, not yet. No, you don't do that.
No.
He taught me that you don't do it.
It's called edging.
No, not even that. He taught me you don't do it at all. I'm saying he's the Mr. When I think of sex and I think of tantric sex, the first person I think of is Jim Carrey.
Really?
When I think of sex.
So you've been with Jim Carrey, obviously.
Yeah.
So a fellow member of Hollywood. So the first time I fucked Jim Carrey when I was 12.
Tips. When I think of sex tips, I think of Jim Carrey, and he is the man to go to when you really feel like
Well,
that.
Jim Carrey's the type of guy you go to when you want something quick, when you want something done to you, when you're feeling like a subby bitch, a subby bratty whore, then you want Daddy Carrey to fuck you in your tight little bussy.
No, I mean I understand where you're coming from. But
I mean,
have
you seen those political cartoons he's made, like deeply
like that.
psychosexual overtones with those, like
Yeah, no, he does painting and does politics. I don't know, but I'm saying he does tantric sex sort of discussions. Yeah, I sit there and I wake up and I'm drinking coffee or I have a cigarette and I'm like this. I'm like, oh my God. Let's say if I see something that's in my head or if I see something in the news or whatever, I'm like, man, I gotta say something about this.
It's you think before doing it. For me, it's just my hand will do it for me.
Oh no. Well, your hand does it for you.
I mean, yeah, as always, jerking off. It's all about jerking off.
No, but I'm saying no. If I let my hand, you know what? I guess my hand is more restricted than what I really feel like saying. Sometimes you get to a point where really what you feel like saying. And I'll say whenever they have those goddamn machines that can read whatever you feel like saying or whatever you're really saying, I say, woe be unto everyone that's living at this time period. It might be soon. It might be far. I have no idea. But I'm saying when they can read your fucking thoughts, when you can't hide anything no matter what, I say, woe be unto you, because you'll be in a place that we could laugh about right now. You don't even understand what's coming. Could be soon, could be far. I have no idea, but it will be in your lifetime. I'm just saying that right now. So we're living in the golden age right now where you can even think things without getting your ass raped. Without going to jail, without having everything taken from you. And I'll tell you, the era where it can be read, it's not far.
Well, no, I think that we're probably already like close to. It's like what they need to do. All the resources are there if they do need to do it. It's like always be horrified, always be afraid of that. Just like make sure that's like how you.
I'm not saying being afraid of. I'm just saying beat your cock.
No, if it's something you don't realize,
beat your cock.
If you find yourself worried that they gooped you, you can talk to me in a couple months. I'm learning more about what facilities you would need to basically
just ask God.
find.
He's
out
learning about he's being trained by Mossad. He's trying to join Mossad. He's in Mossad summer camp. Summer camp.
What is going on?
Yo,
No, you're talking. It's like a homeland.
you're talking
Dude.
about. You're talking about like when they're reading your thoughts and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
the
so
Amazon
what? They're doing that with like a remote scanner, or they're doing that because they got nanobots in you.
No, I'm doing that with your goddamn phone.
Yeah.
Doing that
Well,
with something
'cause
that's
you're
on a
trained.
tower.
You're a well-trained
Yeah,
doesn't
dog.
matter.
yeah.
You're Pavlov's dog, basically, right? It's
Yeah,
like, so
yeah,
you click
yeah.
on, you
I
click
don't
on,
know. I guess.
you click on the phones for sale on Amazon, like you like
50,
iPhones.
50 on the
you like
nanobots.
screwdrivers. It's like why not put
50.
stuff
That's
there?
my
it's
my
it's a
fucking
more advanced
spread
version
right
of
now.
that.
I know you mean.
It's just it's making sure they can lash into every aspect of your life. It's making sure that you're like you don't like actually care about whatever happened. Like if there's a crime committed, right? Like if there's a police killed a man, like lived in a different state, you never met him. It's like you caring about that. Now they have control of your heart too. Like now they have control of that.
It's like Spawn.
system also. Yeah.
I mean, anyone who's posting now is obviously like jacking themselves off, but
I love jacking myself off.
yeah, no, exactly, but like the ideal. The only way to win is to do the thing where you like sit on your hand, so like you feel like you aren't actually jacking yourself off, and that's where like the sublime
Sounds like
energy
fingering
comes
your
from.
own
Yeah.
asshole.
What do you see the future of you creating content and comedy? What is on the horizon for you? What are your plans? What are your goals at this stage in your life?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a really good question. It's a question I ask myself a lot, but the answers that I get are so dumb, it's unbelievable. But I'm sort of at a point in my life where I can sort of enjoy and do a little bit of a tiptoe over a bunch of different insane things. I'll leave that right there.
Tiptoeing in the Jordans.
Oh yeah. No.
So, do you know where you-
Iversons.
Do you know where you want to be?
Daniel
I think that's
Days.
the most important thing.
I think about it a lot, and I really don't. My priorities have changed over the past several years, because of a number of different events. So I kind of
happening,
I have a
per
different
se.
perspective. Yeah, it's been a happening, and in that kind of sense, in the Hunger Games sense. And I don't have a really good. Maybe I don't have a good answer, or maybe I don't have a concrete answer. And hopefully I have a good answer, but nothing's coming out yet. But I'll tell you, it's the world is very ripe. It's moving very fast, and I feel like I compare myself to others in that I feel like I have the most fun. So I try to have fun. And the things that I do, yes, whether it be whether it be on the internet or on TV or writing, whatever, these things are fun. I want to have fun. Purification is a really important concept. It's the most important out of anything. And if you really have your rituals or you have your whatever the hell when it comes to purification, whether emotional or physical or whatever the hell, rhetorical on
Algorithm surfing.
Yeah, whatever your knowledge-seeking sort of proclivities. You know what I'm saying? Purification is a very, it's a very good thing that I'm thinking about. I think about what you said.
Sorry, do you look down on yourself often as a creator? Sorry.
Oh, well, no, not as a creator, but just as a decision maker. I really try to just not over question, but I really, I don't assume things these days, and I don't take anything off the table. Anything. I don't care what you can put on the table. I'll look at it and I'll say, oh man, I'll think about it and I'll run it through whatever the hell it needs to be run through or whatever sort of treadmill it needs. But looking down on, it's never a good habit. It depends what kind of whip you use to sort of force yourself into a better thinking. I don't know what kind of words you use for it. Some sort of an initiation or rite of passage. I guess those are the two that I can think of are the most valuable spiritually and proactively. I guess if you're going to use them or research them, they're the best words for it. But it just depends what kind of you're using for that sort of in your life. I don't know, I just want to say that. Some people don't know how zany things are. A lot of people take the things that are very insane very, very seriously, and you undo your life when it comes to that sort of thing. And a lot of things that are funny to someone who kind of knows how insane the world is, it might not be funny to people who kind of are living in maybe a smaller box. But I'll tell you, we're all living in a certain sort of box. So I mean, we're all alike in some ways. So some people are living in a small box, and hey, if that's working for them. So I kind of look at it like that.
The mainstream doesn't exist anymore.
Fuck the mainstream.
There is no mainstream anymore. The mainstream is
the
dead.
mainstream is coming out of my dick into the toilet.
Yeah,
That's the
no,
mainstream
it's-
right there.
What?
That's my mainstream.
What?
It's piss.
What?
I feel like The mainstream is dead.
Mainstream isn't dead. Turn on like any TV channel, like you just realize how disconnected everyone's gotten from the mainstream.
Charles, I loved when you mentioned opting out of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know,
love the
opting out of the psyops, opting out of the apocalypse is such a great phrase. And I want you to tell us, what is your best advice for people trying to opt out of the apocalypse, opting out of this fucking garbage that we're all being spewed and
Love life.
brainwashed? What is your esoteric knowledge you want to drop on people to end this?
The best thing to
Racism.
think of, when I think of these issues is to not give in to despair. And if you're mindful of yourself, if you're going in a good direction of thinking, if you're really mired in problems that you're really not looking at the right way, or if you're mired in life things or whatever the hell, if you're spinning in the same in the same place, if you're not really cognizant of a tendency to do that, I don't know if everyone, just generally speaking, if you're not cognizant of that tendency, you're going to spend a lot of time going backwards or sabotaging the present if you're giving in to despair. So I would say you need to be mindful of your tendencies and how you feel and what is bringing you to what place. I don't know what this sounds like, but despair is something you cannot be guilty of because it is an insult to God. It is an insult to the Creator. It is an insult to the person that you become, where you are, where you want to be, where you are maybe at your deathbed, whatever. It is an insult to that person that you wish to be. Any moment speaking, or any moment in feeling pain, feeling bad, worrying, thinking things that aren't real, worrying about things, fighting, being nerdy about something, having that tendency, that is time, that is, it is an insult to that higher place that you are forced to go to with age alone. No matter what, you're forced. Like how I said that there comes a point in Conspiracy where you just shut it off. There comes a point where you're forced to these things. So if you're familiar with the things of force and you can initiate yourself, or you can get yourself through a rite of passage or auto initiation, or have some sort of a sacred space where you can do those things, blah, blah, blah. But it's you think of those things when it comes to despairing or black pilling or white pilling. It depends the quality of your definitions, depends the quality of your language, the quality of your the categories that you separate what is winning, what is living a good life, what is losing, what is living a bad life. It depends where you're at. And no matter what, age will force you forward, no matter what. You want to try to get there faster, so you cannot be getting there. You cannot be honoring. You cannot be trying to get there faster to a self that would do things more properly to how you wish you could operate if you were in a more perfect state. Generally speaking, you cannot get there if you're succumbing to nihilism, the black pill, going backwards with that despair. You cannot. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you have to. You have to be in a place. You have to know where you're at. You have to see. You can't be mired in sabotaging yourself. There's enough sabotage in this world that comes at you in ways that if you knew, you would scream right now. We'd all be screaming. We'd be laughing. We'd be beating off.
Cuddling.
We'd be grabbing each other's hands, looking each other
I'd be calling you
eyes.
I'd be calling you babe. We'd be calling you
Yeah,
babe.
it'd be like that. If you
On our
knew,
phones.
how many things were chipping in at you at 1,000 needles over your lifetime, a million needles, if you knew, you'd go crazy. So the control that you have is the control over yourself. And if you're despairing, if you're giving in to the weapon that is yourself used against yourself, I'm just going to say you're going to be going backwards. You're going to be living life. You're not going to be living life. You're going to be dying, and you're going to be doing everything a disservice.
Yeah.
And it's yourself. You know how you get better? Well, I mean, you can get dumber, but you know how you envision yourself in however many years, whatever. You do yourself a disservice when you go backwards instead of trying to get there faster. And if you get there faster, your decisions will be better. What you let into your eyes will be better curated.
Eat healthier.
You'll be eating better. You'll be eating it better. These things are important. It's not about the accumulation of knowledge. It's about the quality of your intelligence. It depends how you define it.
To quote a good friend of mine, I often speculate how much methamphetamines you need to be on to literally grab a hornet's nest and shove it in your mouth and crunch it like a handful of potato chips.
I don't think meth would
Yeah.
do that. As someone who's I've done a lot of meth, I've done a lot of coke, I've done a
Deep
lot of
throat,
crack.
Jonathan.
It doesn't make you do that, I don't think.
Yeah, that shit. When you get into that spiritual realm, when you're fucking beaten off with a wasp goo on your hands,
You getting the wussy? Getting the wussy?
fucked. You're fucked. You're in a spiritual realm. You're like, castrating yourself before the comet is over your head and you're blowing your brains up.
And that is MK Ultra Money. Charles, do you have anything you want to plug real quick before we end this?
I said my piece right there. I really said my piece. No, you know what my go-to? Now that I think of it, my go-to at Twitter is the Moby Dick quotes. When I think of Twitter, I'm like, what's going to be next for Moby Dick? But what's next for Moby Dick? And I say, oh my God.
Full episode, patreon.com/MKUltraMoney, merch, grift.shop. Now watch this episode with 0 HP Lovecraft. Thank you.